Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with
Andrei Smirnov.
and this is coverage right after the 2017 North American International Auto Show. This is our recap.
Yep, we just got back from Detroit, and let's face it, the show overall was a bit disappointing, huh?
It was a disappointment.
You guys asked us why not so many debuts at the show. This is why. There are also off-site events. But I kind of built the show up for myself before I got there.
Yep.
Because I thought, yes, the Wrangler is going to be there, right? Maybe the Trackhawk, Grand Cherokee.
The new Ram.
The new Ram pickup truck? No, that wasn't the case. But FCA announced some news, right?
That's right. So once again, nothing showing there other than
Ram showed the Ram Rebel Black Edition.
Yeah.
Right, but there were no other official debuts from FCA.
None.
But they had some news.
Yes, and the news is basically this. They're investing heavily in building three vehicles that you guys have been asking about, one of which is the Grand Wagoneer, the other one's the Wagoneer, and in Ohio, they're going to have the Wrangler pickup, and it has officially been announced that they're going to build it there.
Finally, some solid news, but no images, no sketches once again.
And
right?
definitely no vehicles that rolled out on stage. And another company that pulled the exact same thing was Ford. And
They showed the logo of the Ford Bronco.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, finally they're going to roll out a concept or something, or the Ranger. They said, we're building them, but no sketches again,
Yep.
no images,
Nothing.
no concepts.
There were a couple video shots of the Ranger from overseas, but we're not getting that vehicle. And we already know what that one looks like.
But Ford did have something to show,
They did.
which was the facelifted 2018 Ford F-150, which I'm pretty excited about because 5 engine options.
5, including a diesel.
So we have to wait over a year for it, but they've updated all their EcoBoost engines. They have a new base engine, and they've massaged the Coyote, the 5-liter.
Which is one of our favorite engines that they build. So, yeah, I mean, once again, nothing on stage, but at least they got a chance to put something out there that we had a chance to cover, and that'll be on the TFL Truck channel.
Yep. And another car I hoped was going to be there because we saw prototypes testing in the mountains was the Corvette ZR1, the king of Corvettes.
Nothing.
No?
Nothing.
Okay.
General Motors did bring out a couple crossovers, including the Chevrolet Traverse and the GMC Terrain.
With 3 turbocharged engines and the transmission with buttons.
That's right, a push-button transmission right there in the center stack, and I know that people have already had some very interesting commentary on that. But on top of that, diesel engine.
Now this is something interesting, folks. This is the 1.6-liter Ecotec diesel. Now, we think it may put out 136 horsepower and 236 pound-feet of torque. It's known as the Whisper engine because it's supposedly very, very quiet.
Ballsy move because diesels are not so popular in crossovers and cars right now. But the Chevy Equinox 2018 and now the Terrain will have a diesel option, GM is saying.
That's right, that's right. Now let's move on to notable debuts because there are quite a few of them. And so the show wasn't a complete loss, and part of the reason was from all companies. Kia.
Yes, they showed the Stinger GT, which is this sexy 5-door coupe sedan thing with great design and also great power. Twin turbo V6.
Yeah.
Over 350 horsepower. Where did that come from?
Yeah, a good-looking car, too. Both Andre and I are really into the old Pontiac G8, the GXP version.
Oh, yeah.
And this vehicle really reminded us of that. I mean, it really looks freaking awesome. And what a name. Stinger? Yeah.
And it's going to be a production model coming out in a few months, so that's awesome. The other sedan that made news was the 2018 Toyota Camry.
That's right. Now, this is an all-new vehicle from the ground up. It's longer, lower, wider, has different powertrains, has back to automatic transmissions, an 8-speed automatic transmission.
Woohoo! I really like the profile of the new Camry and the rear, the lights and actually the quad exhaust.
Yeah, that's pretty
cool. On the Camry.
Yeah.
But what happened to the front? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's busy.
The hybrid version is okay, but there are a lot of grills on top of the regular Camry.
Yeah, they wanted it to look a lot more masculine and aggressive. And, some people like it and some people, frankly, don't. But I will admit, the interior, what a step up. I mean, it's pretty close to being a Lexus interior.
But it was really a year of crossovers because Mercedes GLA facelift. There was an Infiniti QX50 concept. There are a lot of other concepts like the BMW X2, Audi Q8, lots of crossover news.
That's right. And on top of that, there are a few reveals that we were a little surprised with, including Nissan Rogue Sport. This is a completely different vehicle than the Nissan Rogue.
Yeah, it's smaller than the regular Rogue that we get right now, and it's basically Nissan Qashqai from overseas. Did I say that right, Qashqai?
Well, I've been saying cash cow, and I know Nissan wishes that it would be indeed a cash cow, but yeah, I think it's Qashqai.
So we looked globally and we found the Qashqai. It's being very popular in Europe, actually credited with making the CSUV segment very popular in Europe, and we decided to bring it to the United States.
What were your favorites from the show?
Well, I had two favorites. One was the Volkswagen ID Buzz. It was very cool, partly because it has two motors, all-wheel drive, and it puts out 369 horsepower, and it has a range of 270...
Yeah, approximately 270 miles. Mind blown.
Yeah, mind blowing, and you know, this is harking towards the future. Also had a floating gnome. And it was just really cool, and you know, I kind of dig the idea of having something like this, all-wheel drive, super powerful, super fast, that can hold 8 people. And the next one was the GAC Trumpchi GS7 all-wheel drive turbo.
Whoa, what is that?
It's a car that's built in China. It's basically a competitor to vehicles like the Honda CR-V. And it was actually a pretty decent looking car. I sat inside of it and it wasn't too bad.
I'm not really a big fan of fake carbon fiber, but they've actually managed to do a fairly good job on the interior. One of the things they've managed to do right away is make a seat that's large enough for my large American ass. More importantly, headroom is excellent, legroom is pretty damn good too.
This is something that perhaps in the future might make it into the United States through another automaker.
That's very interesting. I also had two favorites. First was the 2018 Ford F-150. I'm kind of a truck guy still.
Yeah.
So 5 engine options were very exciting, including the diesel, although we have to wait a long time for that.
Yeah.
But the design, I like the nostril grille. Not that chrome stuff that they have, but the nostril grille in the sport version was really cool. My second favorite was the Audi Q8 concept. Basically, they took a Q7, shrunk it, made it ultra luxurious for 4 people, but the front, the lights, and the rear, and just the whole package just looked really good.
It was a pretty badass looking vehicle.
Now this is an e-tron, it's an electrified vehicle. Basically it's a hybrid. And using the electrical system, it can go up to 60 miles, or if you combine it with the gas engine, up to 621 miles.
We're hoping that we'll get a better show coming up very soon.
Chicago 2017 is in February 11th through the 20th, and it's known to be a truck show, among other things. Also the largest show by size.
Yep.
And I'm hoping for the Tundra, for maybe Nissan Titan King Cab, and some other vehicles. So go back to tflcar.com and tfltruck.com for show coverage and of course all kinds of reviews.